Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Now on Edge of Reality, cash grab or was it a good game?
Yeah, that'll do it. I'll do it nicely.
Well then guys, here we go. This is my first initial thoughts. Yesterday I got the chance to play, finally, Doctor Who, The Edge of Reality. Now this is a shoot further of the VR game, for what I was told beforehand. Now I've done reviews for TV and magazines and papers before for games, so this will be something a little bit different. It's something more I've done professionally as a job before. But it's got to be said, when I saw the trailer for this, the thing that initially grabbed me was having two doctors in the story. There's obviously 13 with Jodie Whittaker and 10 with with David Tennant. That initially got my juices flowing. It's Doctor Who. It got me going even more. And I was really looking forward to it. People were saying that the VR game was really, really fun, even though it was really, really short. You know, I didn't get a chance to play the VR one, which was the Edge of Time, I do believe. They're saying it was far too dark in parts, and that was the problem with the VR version of it. But that was back in 2019. Back here in this land of 2021, last night I spent just under 4 hours playing The Edge of Reality. There's a reason why I didn't speedrun it. I was looking forward to it when I saw the trailer. And then when I looked, there was a deluxe model for £25. We'll have a discussion on the price later. And the reason why I got the deluxe model was I got to play about with my favourite screwdriver, which is the 12th Doctor's screwdriver. So, yeah, that's what grabbed me. So my first thoughts of when I jumped in, I thought the controls were smooth when I first got it. I watched a lot of reviews beforehand, warning me about the brightness on PC and the lack of controller support. I was very, very worried. You know, I do own a PC, and it runs top tier games. It cost me just under £2,000. It cost me a lot of money, this computer, because obviously I do this channel. And I've got to say, when I was playing it, it was very, very smooth. I had no lighting issues. I had a jiggly pokey with the settings beforehand to turn the brightness up a smidge, because I did hear that that was the one thing they weren't going to change in the updates, was the brightness. And apparently the brightness was a very, very big issue. Because we're not in VR, I wouldn't see it normally through a TV screen. It's like walking into a shadow. So beforehand, I had a jiggly pokey with the settings. So I jumped straight into the game. So let's carry on. When the game initially came out, I had a little bit of hesitancy, because due to the current way things are with games at the current moment, is 99.9% of them are nowhere near ready to come out. They either require a very large day one patch or a very large update. And to be quite frankly honest, when it comes to BBC, they haven't got a great track record when it comes to releasing Doctor Who games. But the thing is, I loved Lonely Assassins. Maze Theory were fantastic. I think Doctor Who should do more towards the mobile ethic game reality, towards working with PC and clicking mouse. I think that's fantastic. I loved Lonely Assassins. It's actually on my top 3 lists of games of the year. I loved this one, and that's why I was excited again for this one. And when it initially came out, I was very ill, but the thing is, I also have stuff to do on the side, so I was very, very busy. And I've been painting and decorating my house also, which is another thing on top, hence why there's been no videos for the last week with the build up to Flux, which is I've been gasping to do. But anyway, back to Edge of Reality. I looked online and I thought, I'll see a couple of reviews. I saw 10 minutes of Thari's playthrough. I've got to admit, there was some serious worries me watching that. But they were all saying the same thing. I saw Council of Geeks Rad's video, which I thought was a little bit over the board, a little bit after attention. But if you have a bad experience with the game, you have a bad experience with the game. They should have released it more polished than what they did. I waited afterwards, after seeing those two videos. There was a hesitancy. They'd just been busy. They'd be jumping straight into it because I knew there was going to be problems, because there always is. But I did jump in last night, and I was glad that I got the light settings sorted. And I'm glad I waited for the little updates to fix, because apparently there were a lot of issues on the initial release. Now, the gameplay was smooth, not a problem. I honestly didn't have a problem. I was picking up stuff, I was able to drop stuff. Even though you couldn't drop stuff with the controller, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense. Why would you make it controller compatible, but you're not able to have things? Like, I had hold of a bowl in a level, and I thought it was important to something, but then I couldn't drop it, and my inventory was full, and I was like, well, how do I drop stuff? And then I had to go online to look for it, because there was no guide in the game. I thought that was poor. That's one thing the game needs to sort out. It needs to sort out its gameplay HUD, I would say. When you come on and you go to the settings and you go to the controller thing, it's just for keyboard and mouse. That needs fixing. You know, for old school gamers like me, I'm not a keyboard and mouse guy. I'm a controller guy. You know, I control my computer with my Xbox One controller. That's the way I've always been, unfortunately. You know, my first console was a Sega Mega Drive, and that's just the way things are. A SNES and N64 from there, and all the gaming went from there. The gameplay was smooth, but everything else let it down. There was a distinct lack of support during the game. Like, they'd drop you in a room and you'd have repetitive audio going off in your head. Either it'd be, spoilers, it'd be Emma or the 13th Doctor shouting in your ear to do something, or it'd be repetitive and things would disappear and then reappear, and you're just like, right, okay, if I can't get it in that order, why can't I get it in that order? And then I'd realise there's a glitch in the game. I'd have to come out, restart the level, which I started 10 minutes beforehand, and come back into it, and then to realise that it's booted up and there were two things missing. That's one downside to the gameplay, I would say, and it's a pretty big one. They need to fix that. You know, that was bad even on my end, and I'm an experienced 30-year gamer. So yeah, that on the gameplay was not great. I'd say at the end, I would say, what? There's no jump feature, but they put timing things for running through obstacles towards the end. That was crazy. You have to immaculately get the timing right, or your character would just fit between the two of them and then just fall to the floor. That was a problem I had. Like I said, this is the reason why I bought this initially was because I got to play with the 12th Doctor Sonic. Hold on, I will grab it. I got to do it with this. This Sonic is my favourite Sonic. It's the 12th Doctor. I love that Sonic. My rubber toe is somewhere. I've got it packaged away somewhere, stuff everywhere. And there's something called the 12th Doctor's gloves, the Rivers gloves. DLC for the deluxe edition was an extra £5. Was that worth an extra £5 during the game? No. Because when I buy the 12th Doctor Sonic, I want the 12th Doctor Sonic to do this. Blue and green, not bright orange. It would have fitted the context of the game, I think, better for us Whovians. It's alright chucking the 4th Doctor's scarf and everything in there. That's okay, to pick up, random trophies throughout the game. But what you can't do is change something fundamental to each Doctor Sonic. Like the 9th and 10th Doctor Sonics, I think it was like a greeny blue. 9 Doctors, the 10th Doctor's was blue, the light. Smith's was green, and obviously 12's is, green and blue, depending on which setting you're on. And then obviously 13 is, bright orange, You know, she's bright orange. But because of the game's way, it made it bright orange for all of them. So what was the point of me spending £5 of DLC for a deluxe edition when you can't do little things like that to make the DLC quite unique? What you did was put those models of 13 Sonic and try to get away with it, which I thought was a little bit of a cash grab. Hence why I've said in the title of this video, was it a cash grab? Because in the first 20-25 minutes, I did kind of get the feel that this was a cash grab. Now this is the thing I wasn't too keen on. You finish the initial part of the story, or you think you do. You stop the Daleks and the build up to the first spoilers, sorry, and you get to the end of it and you just like, you sat there going, hold on, there's supposed to be a 10th Doctor appearance here, and then you come out the TARDIS at the end in the exact same laundrette. I did like the way they used the same models constantly, by the way. There was no imagination there. And then you come out the laundrette, the 13th Doctor flies off, and the next thing, out of the blue, the 10th Doctor turns up on the exact same TV screen the 13 turned up on, at apparently the same point in time. I'm scratching my head here, and I'm going, what is going on? What? It was great to see David Tennant in the game. I thought it was going to be a team-up game with the two different Doctors, which I thought would have been cool to be the man in the middle between a multi-Doctor story. That would have been fantastic. But no, we got two separate Doctors at two separate points in time, and right, okay, fair enough. But there was a clear disconnect between the first, I would say, 2 hours of the game to the last hour and a half of the game, if you know what I mean. It was like going from 13 and then dropping 10 towards the end. That includes 13 at the end at two different points in time, and then 10 just disappears and then turns up at the end with Emma, and the graphics on 10 at the end. I would not have released it in that state. That's just me. I wouldn't have released it in that state. But I've got to admit, there was parts that I did enjoy with this game. I really did enjoy it. It's much better on controller than it is with keyboard and mouse. I've played it a couple of times, and I've got to say controller is better than keyboard and mouse. A lot of my friends who like PC gaming are going to be throwing pitchforks and just swords at me. But there was a clear disconnect. But it was great to see the 10th Doctor back. It really was. It was great to hear him. But I did notice there were some snippets in the audio that were from the TV show and not individually recorded. You can tell that from the headphones from when I was playing. One of the things I think was really nice was the level design. There were 4 distinct levels. You had the laundrette and outside London. Then you had the was it Zeta Minor, Lena Minor? I forget what the planet's called, where you do the lifts with the Cybermen. Then you have, see, I'm honestly forgetting what the worlds are called. But there were 4 distinct levels, and I thought they used them well within the first 2.5 hours of the story. But then when the 10th Doctor and the Cybermen turned up, they did some jiggly pokery and added little bits there, but using the same animations and using it. It was very, very, very strange. But I thought the game level design was done well, even though the animation on the Cybermen were very, very strange. It's like they were really rigid, and I know they're supposed to be rigid. They're Cybermen. But if you watch the Cybermen in the TV show and then look at the Cybermen in Edge of Reality, there is a very, very distinct lack of maneuverability within the suits. It's like so they asked, like a machine dog to do the walking. It was very, very strange. And if you get to play the game, I hope you've played it and then watch this video because of spoilers. You tell me in the comments below what you thought of the level design, the animation for the Cybermen. I wasn't really too happy with that. Next thing I want to talk about is the soundtrack. It was okay. The soundtrack was alright. It was a little weird, but why didn't they use the show theme? You're a Doctor Who licensed game. Why can't you use Cedric Akinola's theme or All the Strange Things when 10th Doctor turns up? Use stuff from their generation. I understand you've got to put your own edge on it. But the thing is, it's a Doctor Who universe game. It's got its own soundtracks. You know, you can do your own soundtracks for, you know, when the levels are on. But when the title to the game comes on, there is a very, very... Like, one of my worst themes in Doctor Who history is in one of my favourite box sets, which is the 6th Doctor, which is behind me somewhere here, which is the Trial to a Time Lord. That's like one of my favourite box sets, but it's got one of the worst Doctor Who themes. And I was having flashbacks to that theme when this song kicked off by what's it called, Maze Theory, put their own theme on it. The soundtrack was all right, but I would say the beats for the Angels, they did bring that in from the Moffat era. That was brilliant, by the way. Okay, best parts of this game, because I feel like I've got a little bit negative when I didn't mean to go negative on this. I'll go up from 5 to 1. Number 5 was collecting unique Doctor gear. It's like I was starting the first level, and you're walking around and you're having a look around, and the next thing you see a leather jacket on a hanger, and you go, hold on, I know that leather jacket. And you walk up to it, and it's the 9th Doctor, and it goes, there's the miniscope, and they had a miniscope where you could collect gear. Loved it. Absolutely loved going around collecting. This is why it took me nearly 4 hours to complete it, because I was refusing to leave a level without collecting all the gear. I didn't get all the gear. I'm still missing the 1st Doctor's ring, and I think it's a cyber mat. I think I'm missing. But collecting unique Doctor gear, I think I had a little bit of an eek when I found the cricket ball. It's because I'm going through the 5th Doctor's audio adventures at the moment on Big Finish, and I'm thoroughly enjoying them. And when I found a cricket ball, I genuinely went eek, because I'm also meeting him in November, which is going to be crazy. So yeah, number 4 was the different screwdrivers. I went through the game. When I was with the 10th Doctor, I chased the 10th Doctor Sonic. But I did the vast majority of the first 2.5 hours with the 12th Doctor Sonic, is which one I've got here. That was fun. Number 3, the 10th Doctor turning up, put a massive smile on my face. You know, his energy is, you know, it was really, really good. 13 was a bit somber. The graphics for her model didn't help things, but I thought she did well in the game. 10 was if there was a model for which one was closer to being the Doctor, I would say it's 10. 13 was decent. She was okay, but she doesn't make my top 5. 10's number 3. Number 2, spoilers for this next one, was the Angels level, looking for the box of Magnus Greel, who is obviously the bad guy from Talons of Weng-Chiang. Now, you can't see it, I'm not going to put it on camera or anything, but in this corner here, I have the poster from the Talons of Weng-Chiang. It is one of my favourite episodes ever. It's Tom Baker, it's, you know, Leela Jameson, and I'm forgetting her name. But, oh, fantastic story. I love the story with the giant rat, and, you know, there's Jago and Lightfoot. And when you load up in Victorian London, and she said, "Oh, Magnus Greel, we've got history," I had to pause it, and I was like, "Oh God, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get Mr. Sin. It's gonna be a scary level, Mr. Sin." We didn't get Mr. Sin, but what we did get was a brilliant little challenge. Like I said further beyond the video, I had problems with picking up and dropping stuff out the inventory. They need to work on the command prompts of dropping stuff with the controller. They need to work on that for dropping the inventory. I had to actually look online to find out how to do it. But when I did it with the whole the butterfly thing, that brought back memories of the 7th Doctor story, where they go to that creepy house with the bugs and everything. Oh, it was fantastic. And then you see the floor rise up with the angels being threatening. You go down into the crypt and you're chased by angels. Oh, I was in my absolute element. Honestly, it took me a good 20 minutes to complete it, because I I was looking around looking for unique gear while the angels were killing me. Daft thing to do, I know, on a first playthrough. But I'm a completionist. I love to try, especially when it comes to Doctor Who. And I absolutely love this level. And when you hit the key, you get the green thing into the cabinet and it lights up and it opens and then, honestly, there were a couple of moments and it was, wonderful. That level, give me more of that. If there's going to be a sequel, give me more of that. Honestly, it was a wonderful, wonderful level. I truly enjoyed it, and that's why I think this game is worth purchasing for £10 to £15 and not £25. I would say just that level alone and the appearance of the 10th Doctor was good enough. My number 1 on the list is Emma, the AI companion. You meet her on the ship that's going towards a exploding star, and she was fantastic. She really was. I genuinely had a little tear in my eye when she, spoilers, when she goes off with the 10th Doctor towards the end, and I was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I want to know what happens next with Emma. Don't travel with David or 10. Don't travel with him. Give me another 20 hours worth of gameplay and I'll do the travelling. Don't give me the TARDIS. I'll have adventures with Emma. I want adventures with Emma now. Yeah, she was fantastic. The sarcasm, the interactions with 13, the Cyberman level, I thought she was fantastic in that. I think the voice acting for Emma was superb throughout this whole game. I think there's elements of this game that were up there, and there's elements that have gone. And there's bits that I don't like that have been shoved together. But number 1 was Emma. She was superb, absolutely fantastic. Okay, this is my conclusion Q&A question thing to myself that I've put together for this review. And the end was forced, I would say, with the 10th Doctor. You could tell the VR game went so far, and it's like they've glued the Edge of Reality ending with the 10th Doctor to it. That bit I didn't like. You can tell they've tried to sort of meld VR with certain things, because I'm not going to lie, there were several parts where the audio didn't make sense and the lighting was a little bit off, and to be quite honest, I had to pause for a good 20 to 30 minutes because I had a bit of a headache, and I don't know why. It must be just something with VR, because I don't necessarily play VR, and this game isn't VR. I didn't play it in VR, I played it on my PC. And my game didn't have a problem running it. My graphics card didn't have a problem running it. It's a £2,000 PC. It shouldn't have a problem playing these sort of games. But I enjoyed it, but the game was a little bit too short. I have seen greater things done with less things when it comes to games. I mean, look at Lonely Assassins. It's just a mobile game. But May's theory in that game got the Doctor Who community spot on. We love a mystery. Give us a mystery. Give us videos. You could have put Osgood in this. You really could have. You didn't have to put Emma. As much as I loved Emma in this game, you didn't have to put Emma in it. You could have put Osgood. Because everybody knows in the build-up to Flux, there's angels in this episode. There's angels in this. They could have just... They could have done something. And I don't know what took them 2 years when it comes to 2019 to 2021 to do Edge of Time and then Edge of Reality, which is a lump on to the original game. I just don't get it. Obviously, COVID and everything, and it's just, I can understand the pauses, but I don't understand. You could have done the Edge of Time and then done the Edge of Reality as a DLC and then just released it as one game and made sure it was properly done. Because I've heard the VR was too short. This is too short. I would say for £25 you're looking at between a 20 and 27 hour game, I would say. Because if you go in 35 to 60, where like a lot of major titles do with games now, you're looking at a 60, 70 hour game. You're looking at like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You're looking at, Valhalla. You're looking at Breakpoint. You're looking at these open world games that offer more than just a linear A to B path. And I can honestly say, as a Doctor Who fan, Maze Theory, you won. You got me to buy it. But in the future, I am going to be very, very hesitant about buying Doctor Who titles, because this game shouldn't have come out in the state that it's in for a lot of people. I had to wait myself a few days to play it because I'd seen the reviews, and I watched several videos of the first 10 minutes, and I'd seen reviews from people who were very, very angry. So was it worth £25? Absolutely not. This was worth, I would say, in the region between £13 and £18, I would say. I would say not over the £20 mark, and even that's with the DLC. The DLC was not worth an extra £5. So my recommendation is, if you haven't bought it, and I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you haven't bought it, do yourself a favour and wait for a sale. It's a great game, and if you're Whovian, try it. It's a great game. It's not a great game. It's a game that tickles the fancy for a certain fandom, and that's us. That's the Doctor Who fans. You know, old timers, you know, are gonna love the Magnus Greel, the Magnus Greel side of things. You know, the Cyber Reaper was poor. I loved the little Madame de Pompadour history changing bit at the end. That was enjoyable. But was this a cash grab? I think it shouldn't have been sounding that way, but it looks like it was a bit of a cash grab to go, we haven't sold enough VR copies. And it's got to be said, I do feel like a lot of things were rushed in this game, and you can see that they were rushed. It's like I was stuck on a level looking for a red fuse for a good 20-30 minutes, when there should have been a prompt to say it was on the rock. Because I went there and I saw a 12th Doctor's guitar and I went, ooh, 12th Doctor's guitar. Don't stick that right next to it. I know that's obviously the principle of gaming, to make things confusing. But the thing is, the pictures on the wall were saying, I need this fuse, this fuse, this fuse. But when you've been everywhere and it's right next to a fire and the graphics aren't right and the lighting's wrong, you couldn't see the red fuse that was on the rock. You couldn't see it. So you're walking around the level going, I've missed something, I've missed something. Is it a glitch? You reload it, and then you go back to it, and it's just randomly there on the rock. That was the downside of it. But my conclusion is, it tickles the fancy for us Whovians, but for a normal gamer, I wouldn't recommend it. And I would give this a 4.5 out of 10, I would say. And the only reason it gets 4.5 is because of the 10th Doctor and Emma. 13 was okay. Her character model was awful. And I mean, the 10th Doctor wasn't too great either. And I mean, when he turns up at the screen at the end, that was shocking. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Okay guys, well, if you enjoy what I do at the channel, hit that like button. And if you'd like to continue to support the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'm hoping to get to 50 subscribers before the end of the year, and I hope you can stick with me, and we'll do this adventure together with it coming up to Doctor Who Flux. You have yourselves a wonderful day.